We all seek and desire four things. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel protected, and those are not the same thing. We all want to feel seen and understood, and we all want to feel connected.
Welcome to another $4 million strategy. Today we have with us Brian Bogert. He is going to tell us about the best way to have effective senior leadership. Brian, tell us what we should do.
Yeah, well, I'm a big believer in vulnerability and authenticity as a leader, but I think to be really strong in leadership, you need to really understand people. So I want to teach really the basic concept of what I believe the human experience is. We all seek and desire four things. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel protected, and those are not the same thing. We all want to feel seen and understood, and we all want to feel connected. Those last two are the ones that we want the most, right? But the second we walk into an environment and we don't feel seen and understood or connected, or certainly safe or protected, what do? We tend to protect ourselves. And so if we understand what this looks like, we teach the concept of identifying and taking out the trash from your past. The trash are those emotional triggers, behavioral patterns, environmental conditions that cause us to react in moments that have nothing to do with what's right in front of us. But it's also the things that cause us to protect. So the second we walk into a networking event, let's say, and everybody wants something from you instead of for you, and everybody's handing out business cards, all right, you may get guarded. You may go back to your family's house for the holidays, and you know that your dad, your grandma, and your aunt are going to look at you a certain way, and 3 weeks beforehand, you already start anticipating it, and you start protecting yourself. Right? You could be in a situation where you feel like your team doesn't understand you. They don't see it. They don't trust you. And so therefore, what do? You gaslight them as a leader instead of realizing that you're overly protecting yourself. So the second we protect ourselves, imagine lifting up a 35-gallon black trash bag like outside. Grab onto each corner and hold onto each side. That's now your armor. That's what you're using to protect yourself. Now my question becomes, how could you ever expect anyone in your life, the ones that you love, but especially the ones that work for you, to see who you are, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, your heart, your intent, your soul, your desire, your worth, your boundaries, delivered through an opaque force field? And that's assuming that they aren't carrying their own that's going to further dilute the message. See, so often people don't understand that when their intent is not being received, it's because their actions and how they're communicating things through this armor isn't actually what's being communicated. I give a personal example because my wife and I can give a real-time example. What would she used to say to me? Hey, honey, what do you want to do with the kids this weekend? But my armor at that time, my shame and my anger armor, caused me to hear it this way. Hey, honey, you've not done enough to be a good husband and father here recently, so what are you going to do to make up for it this weekend? To which I react, and I've got this puffing on my chest, and what do? I rattle off the 10 things I've done in the last few days to show her I'm a good husband and father. But the point is I give a personal example, but this happens in everything we do in leadership. So what's the solution? Okay, if we all want those four things, then we have to become the protector and connector in the space, which means that any environment we walk into, we realize that we're the thermostat, not the thermometer, which means that we are the ones that can recognize that if we can go into an environment, if we ourselves are carrying armor, we can ultimately tell ourselves to lower our armor. We can do it in two ways: fabricate it in a moment by convincing ourselves that we're safe, or do the work to unpack the stuff that's causing you to protect anyway. However, what happens when we do that is we can lower our own armor, wrap a layer of protection around the environment we're in, which ensures that everyone gets all four things they want. Everyone's safe, everyone's protected, everyone's seen and understood, and everyone's connected. This is effective executive leadership because it ultimately allows you to set the tone, the energy, and create and establish trust using vulnerability and authenticity to deeply connect and communicate with your teams.
Brian, that was brilliant. You did nail it in 4 minutes, which is absolutely incredible. I really encourage, once again, if you have not connected with Brian Bogert, he is absolutely incredible. Go to brianbogert.com, and he's going to help you out with understanding just what we talked about is how to get through that mask that we have for ourselves so we can become the leaders, not only in our business, but in our families as well. Brian, thank you so much for being part of $4 Million Strategies.
Thank you, brother.